It's the MD warrior. Boy, I'm built for this. Life threw me battle, but I'm still gonna win.
Muscular Dystrophy Warrior, just like last video, in every video, a moment of silence for all the fallen warriors who have sadly lost the battle to muscular dystrophy. Sending prayers to all those families who have lost someone with muscular dystrophy. Well, you guys, for this video, like I said in my last video, that I was going to be talking about why does social isolation affect people with disabilities. So, you guys, I'll share the screen with you guys. Hold on a minute. No, it's not this one. Hold on, let me find. Oh, shoot. Oops. I closed that one out. Hold on, you guys. I need to move this. Wait. Oh, hold on. Technical difficulties here, you guys. Oh, here it is. Let's put full screen. Yeah, I lost what I was supposed to be showing you guys. So I asked ChatGPT for help on it and see what things will come up about this topics. I Googled it, but somehow I lost what I had. So hold on, you guys. I have a lot of things that I have used to help me make these videos, you guys. So here it is. Why social isolation happens for people with disability and the solution. That's what I typed. Why does it happen? Let's see. One, physical barriers. Inaccessibility, building, transportation, and public spaces make it harder to participate in social life. Yes, because like we can't just go anywhere. You don't have to be accessible, and there's a lot of places that are not accessible. Transportation's another issue, you know. It's not like we can just walk and be like, oh, let me get the car keys. I'm gone. I'll be right back. You know, like most young adults in their 20s, 30s, like every stage of life when you're, driving and stuff. Obviously, we can't just get up and go like our siblings or family members. And building sometimes, let's say if you want to go to a bar, a club, you know, I'm saying this because, I'm 26. Everybody who's around their in their 20s, early 30s, club party, all that stuff, you know, it's not like we don't want to go, it's not like we don't want to do anything because I feel like there's people even in the disability community that just because they're doing it, they're really all other people with disability, they just want to be home, stuck at home. I was watching a video, I forgot about someone with a disability saying comments like that, saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm out here partying, getting to know people, and everybody else with a disability, it's not doing anything. They want to be home, gaming, watching TV." And I found offensive, yo, bro. It's like, yo, bro. Like, I don't know your disability, but if you're doing all that, probably because one, he seemed like he was in a manual wheelchair. So one, maybe you can drive. Two, you don't need 24/7, 365 days of your of care, So that's why it's easy for you. Probably you don't drink medications like people with muscular dystrophy or any disability, which we can't drink party like everybody else. Sometimes maybe you are able to, you know, have strength in your upper body. You're able to somehow they're able to lift your wheelchair over the stairs. You're not gonna lift over a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair. You know how heavy those things are. I don't think so. So I found that those comments a little upsetting. Especially someone who is in the disability community. So I mean, it's not like we don't want to do any of those things. One, obviously every house won't have a ramp, you know. To be honest, if you want to party like everybody else does in their 20s, 30s, one of the issues like what if the club bar doesn't have ramp? We can't do nothing about that. Transportation, what if we don't have nobody? Nobody wants their parents to drive them. I'm just being real. Like if you're a young teen, young adult living with muscular dystrophy, you don't want your parents to drive you, but it's like there are caregivers, we can't do nothing about it. We can't just bring someone our own age, oh, can you drive me? We need someone responsible, and stuff like that. So it makes it harder to participate in social life, It's not like we don't want to have a life, it's because these issues are what stop us. Let's go number two, social stigma and assumptions. Another one. People often make assumptions about ability, independence, or communication, which can lead to exclusion or being treated differently. I don't know what that person probably hasn't had this issue, but there's a lot of people that they see someone with a disability, one, they stereotype, you know, communication is the issue. They feel like, oh, I had to talk to him like he's a child, or he can't do this. I had my cousin friend. She didn't think I drink, so my cousin was like, oh, you should take a shot and just take a shot with my cousin. She really thought she second thought. She really had to go and think, like, be like, like, oh, I don't think someone with a disability can, drink, but my cousin like doesn't treat me like that. He doesn't assume that, he doesn't assume I can't communicate, I can't drink. I mean, I've tried different types of alcohol with him, so he's like he doesn't assume things. He just treats me like we're the same age, But there's other people that'll be like, let's say you tell some, hey, let's have a shot, this and that, at a family function, or if you go to a club party and the person probably second thought thinks this and be like, I don't think, I think that person doesn't know he has a disability, so I'm assuming he can't drink. He's only saying that, to make someone look cool, but it's not that. Like people, that has nothing to do with a disability and dependency as well, you know. Probably every people thinks that someone with a disability has to have a caregiver help them 24/7, Some disabilities don't. But sometimes, even though let's say I was not that talkative during high school, but there's a lot of them, a lot of people with disabilities that are talkative, but people just seem to exclude them, treat them differently, They treat you like you don't understand what they're talking about, and stuff. You know what I mean, you guys? Some of them are, like to have conversation with people, and sometimes people like push them away, exclusion, on them because they're like, oh, I don't want to hang out with a person with a disability, They're scared like we're gonna do something to them. Like there's people that, with a disability, they have conversation with everybody. Not everybody's like this, You might find someone who, you know, would like to talk with you, would like to have a drink with you, would like to talk about sports, would like to talk about gaming, animation, whatever you guys are into. There's probably people out there that would really appreciate it. They won't be bothered by your disability because they'll be like, oh, this person might have a disability, but he's talking my language, what he knows his stuff. Like for me about sports, if I have someone is talking about sports and I get involved, they probably be like, "Oh no, he's in a wheelchair, but he knows his stuff." I have people say that, like people like random people that that start conversation because they see that I'm a football fan, basketball fan, and once they hear me, give my opinion, they're like, "Oh man, I didn't think about." They always be like, "Oh man, I didn't think about that." Man, they're like, I never saw it like that, like you're saying, not until you started telling me your opinion. I'm like, I like your opinion. They'll be like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." Not at all. They're like, "I didn't think about it like that," or be like, "I forgot that happened years ago." And they're like, your facts or anything about certain things, and stuff. So not everybody, but social stigma. I think this is another video I need to talk about social. I already did about assumptions on an Instagram post, but why not do social stigma and assumption, but make it a better video, a longer video, not just an Instagram post. Lack of representation. When disability is invisible in media, schools, or leadership, it enforces the idea that disabled people or other not belong. Which this one I feel is like Little bit. Media, yeah, we don't have most of the people that play, someone with a disability are not disabled in real life. Schools, I mean, because if schools, probably schools, is because not a lot of people are accepted in schools, clubs, plays, because they're like, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that, they don't belong here. Leadership as well. I know there's leadership classes. My friend was in leader. I was in leadership. My friend in high school, well, my friend Victor was in leadership in high school. I think his senior year. So I mean, but there's no like leadership. There's no like school president that you see with a disability. Would be nice. Schools. I mean, they don't. Obviously, they don't. Schools probably don't. Maybe there's a lot of people with a disability that want to be a cheerleader, but because they see that my friend was a cheerleader, but she doesn't have a disability, so it was a little different. But imagine if someone in a wheelchair wants to be a cheerleader, but they don't want them there because they're like, oh, she's in a wheelchair, she can't do this or that. Or there'll be people, guys that probably can't want who like sports like myself, even though they can't play, maybe they can be assistant coaches, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators. If we're talking about football, we're talking about basketball, assistant coach, something they can be, have them do something they're able to do. I don't know, calling plays? Come on. All you do is talk and yell. Even right, even that's what I do. Like if I was calling plays, I already know what plays I'll be calling. To be honest, yeah, I'm a defensive guy. If I was coaching, it would be nice to coach a team. High school, coach my old high school. I don't know, put me in as defensive coordinator. Sure, I can make that defense great. Like they say from my fellow football fans, defense wins championship. That's what I'm saying. Or put people, students with a disability in place. You don't see that. Media as well. I mean, we don't have actors that have a disability. Not that I know aware of. Maybe they are, but you know how those disabilities sometimes are hidden. But somebody in a wheelchair representing somebody in a wheelchair in movies, we never have that. Schools already explain what things they don't allow, that we don't see a lot, but hopefully we do someday. Leadership, we see somebody, you know, a school president, this and that, and stuff. Hopefully, communication barrier, lack of accommodation, captioning, interpret, assisted technology, limit meaningful interaction. This one is more for people that need, like a talker or something to help them talk, maybe they don't have a lot of this accessible, they don't have access to this tech, or maybe they do, but it's not that great. Interpreters, tell me interpreters, like people that are deaf, they use interpreter capturing maybe on TV, like they can't hear, but obviously they're talking on TV, but they can't hear, they need capturing, the words to come out, on the screen. But sometimes maybe certain TV channels don't add this, which sucks. Imagine an emergency, tornadoes and stuff, not adding captioning, captioning, not adding this. In a case of a freaking tornado, hurricane, or some kind of severe weather, imagine interpreters as well. Imagine we need interpreters too, translate for those that can't or can't hear. Accessible tech, maybe, I mean, maybe everybody has it, but people probably are scared to talk to somebody. They see somebody talking through a machine, it's like they're scared. I'm like, you all scared, but we all watched the Terminator movie that was a machine talking, and we were not scared of watching that. So, I mean, this is a RoboCop either, He was a cop who was a robot, and I mean nobody complained there. For excessive tech, you guys can see us as RoboCop, you know, as a normal person just trying to communicate like you, like everybody else. I don't see what's the whole why they're so scared about. I'm just saying if that's an issue, overprotection or pity. Number five, being interference or pity can push people instead of building real relationship. Just because you see someone with a disability, please don't pity them. We don't need none of that stuff. We just need acceptance, pity, and forget about pity over protection. We don't need over protection. We just need acceptance and people that better understand us. You know what I mean? Fatigue and how challenging. Managing disability can be physically, emotionally exhausting, making socializing harder without flexible options. Yes, our disability, we can't just be outside in the cold. Imagine your family member or someone wants to do something outside, you know, it's not because we are being rude and don't want to go anywhere. It's like it's cold. I'm not getting sick. Or physically, I'm tired that day. Let's do it tomorrow. For me, I prefer someone to like if someone's gonna visit me, like, can you tell me ahead of time so I don't get tired, so I don't do anything on YouTube or do whatever. So I mean, this is gonna be another issue, or and so that's why the dating world doesn't work for us because there are people that want to go out every day, and we can't be like, oh, I would feel bad if I. That's why I don't really, never really want to have a relationship with or be in the get involved in the whole dating world. It's like, you want to go out, but it's cold. I'm not getting sick, we or I'm in the hospital. Just saying, fortunately, I'm not. Haven't. Thankful for that. But I'm not getting sick, or she wants to go somewhere that, oh, it's not accessible. I'll feel bad. Like you saying, hey, let's go somewhere else because my disability doesn't, there's no accessible, there's no ramp, The person's gonna get tired of all that stuff. So this is another issue that I feel like affects everyone. Now let's go to the solutions. This one I won't talk a lot. I'll just go through it, what it says. Accessibility first, make spaces, event, and transportation accessible by default, not an afterthought. Education awareness, important thing here. Normalize disability through honest conversation. Disability education, listen to life's experience. Yes, important. Inclusive attitude, another important one. Treat disabled people as equal. Ask, don't assume. Respect autonomy and preference. Okay, representation matters. Representation matters. Yes, it does. More disabled voices in media, workplaces, schools, and decision-making roles. Flexible social options. Yes, if you have a friend or a family member, please be flexible on their social options. Hybrid events, online community, low energy meetups help reduce barriers. Yes, think about your family. Put your family member first or your friend first. So both of you guys can have a great time, whatever you guys want to do. Plan ahead. Talk with your family member. Talk with your friend what works for them, and find a plan that works for you guys. Community and peer support, yes. Disability-led community, create belonging, share understanding. I wish I can create like a peer support here in my hometown of Fresno, California, but I don't know if there's a lot of people with muscular dystrophy, and stuff. I would really like to create a community, peer support, once a week meetings with people with muscular dystrophy here in my community, or with several people about different disability if there's not enough people with DMD in my hometown, Fresno, California, Clovis, California, Merced, Visalia, California, just naming a few places around my city of Fresno, California. Policy and system change. Strong disability rights, funding for accessibility, and enforcement of inclusive laws. We already have some disability rights, but I feel like we can have more funding for accessibility. We need more funding to, you know, yeah, we need more funding to help accessibility and make building more accessible. Enforcement and inclusive laws. Yes, we might have some. We probably have inclusive laws already in disability rights, but we need more, for every disability, not just some disability will, be impacted in a positive way while other will be left out. That's not how it works. We need some disability rights that will help every disability. So what do you guys think before I end this video? What do you guys think? What other things do you think affect social isolation? leave them down in the comments down below. What other solution you guys suggest? What do you guys think about my video? Did you guys like it? Did I miss something? Leave a comment down below, you guys. I would really appreciate to hear your guys' voices as well. Like, what do you guys think? Did I miss something? Uh, what do you want? What do you guys want to see changes in the future? What else did I miss? Like anything that you guys want to comment down about this video, I would really appreciate your guys' feedback. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification button. Like the great Kobe Bryant once said, Mamba out. In this case, it's MD Warrior out. Until next time.
Started from the struggle, now we speaking on it real. Turn the pain into power, now the whole world filled. Every bit, every word, man, I'm keeping it true. If you rocking with the journey, then I'm rocking with you. Came up from the days when they said I wouldn't last. Now I'm out here dropping stories, turning future from the past.